It's Shahar. Welcome back to my channel, To The Witchy Reader. So I'm going to be doing another book review because like I said, I'm doing a lot of book reviews this month and maybe next month because now I have more indie books I want to read, so I may be doing a lot of indie, um, uh, reading indie books next month. And I think I mentioned this, but I don't do book reviews often anymore. I used to when I first started the channel, but I figured out what kind of videos I do like to do, and I love ranting about books, but I don't usually do a book review. I might do like, here are my book recommendations, and then I can, for whatever topic, and I can just rant about these books for whatever I love about them. But for indie books, I like to do book reviews because to help the author get more sales, possibly, because there's it can be hard to promote and market and get sales as an indie author. But so I'm here with another indie book review, and it is book 4 in the Warriors of Rhea, the Hidden Goddess. Um, it's last of the published book, so I will not be doing a review anytime soon for the fifth book because that is not out yet, and I have no idea when it's coming out. Hopefully next year at the latest, but who knows? Um, but I loved it. There were scenes that made me happy, scenes that kind of made me sad. But um, in this book, you slowly see because as I mentioned in the God of the Forgotten Things book review, which is book 3 in the series, um, every character was pretty much all the main characters were pretty much separated, at least for a little while. Baden had a group of people he was with, none being other main characters because none of them gets their own point of view chapters. But um, he is even separated from them for a little while before they rescue him because he was kind of imprisoned and all that. So that's fun. But um, and then Val and Lauren were actually together for the entire book, so they weren't really separated, but they were separated from all the other characters and their entire world. So there's that. And then Valora was separated as well. And in this book, they all start slowly coming together and finding each other again. At the end of the last book, I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but let's just say Faden finally comes back to his palace and it was kind of overrun. So in this book, Faden has to find people he trusts, and luckily he finds his mom, but finds out that Valora was kidnapped by the person taking over their father, kind of a possession sort of thing. Um, but he's reunited with his mother and other people he trusts. Some people that were in the palace, including Lauren's dad, and then Val and Lauren had to do a few things at the early book before they could um get back, and they finally do get they like appear in the palace when everything's going on. Vaden is trying he was on a mission, so he's trying to get out now without dying. So they're so confused, they have no idea what's going on. All they knew is they had to get out. They One of the people that they do not know, but Vaden knows, that he met in book 3, had to show them the way as Vaden tried to finish what he was doing and then leave as well. And then finally they all got to the safe house where they could all explain what was going on, explain where they have been, what has been up with them, and yeah. So and then the climax was very exciting. Um, I loved uh, that they had to go. They were trying to be sneaky and go into the palace. They were trying to hopefully defeat the godly beings and take their palace back, take back Bria as a whole. They were not successful, and Vaden kind of got captured, and at least he got reunited with Laura, so there's that. um, there's probably one of my favorite scenes was so uh this might be a bit of a spoiler, but so skip a little bit if you don't want spoilers. But Lauren and Val um have had feelings for each other. In book 3, they even have an almost kiss scene when they were both finally losing hope that they would ever get back to Bria, and they thought if they're forced to be stuck on Earth, at least they could be together, because in Bria they couldn't, because he's the oldest son, he's the eldest prince who's going to be king soon. He's technically betrothed in a arranged marriage sort of thing. So there's that, and but then here um, he's back at Bria as the eldest son, and he is told that he has to marry his betrothed tomorrow. So he's not happy because he's in love with Laura, which his mother has picked up on, but they need this alliance badly, especially now. They need it now more than ever, especially since they need the help of these people to take back their kingdom and their country and everything. So but Val and Lauren have a talk, and it was an amazing scene. It made me, I absolutely love the scene. And they finally kiss, but they both knew it couldn't happen again. And then he does end up getting married, which I mean, that made me sad because I love Lauren and Val together, but I also kind of like the twist because a lot of times in a situation like this, something would happen and they'll finally be able to not um find a way for him not to have to marry her or whatever. But in this, they actually did get married, um, and which complicates things. And Lauren and Val haven't really had much of a personal talk since. They've mostly been talking professional and about the mission and everything. They're both trying to be okay, even though they're both heartbroken. And yeah, so but yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed the climax and the fight as they tried to because they all went in teams because they had to be sneaky. They couldn't go all in a group because then they'd be obvious. They had to go in mini sections where only like two or three, maybe four people at the most were together um to do what they had to do so that they wouldn't get caught. And so my right here hurts. I don't know why. But and I really enjoyed seeing them fighting these golly beings and holding their own, but it's like they could barely hold their own. So it's like it's obvious that they're a bit over their heads because they are facing literal godly beings. So they're doing their best and they are struggling a lot to hold their own against them. Like there's a scene where Val was throwing tried to make like the walls or roof or whatever, like all this rubble, clamper on the bad guy, and it didn't really affect him. And then he started using his magic to pick up rocks and throw them at him. And then Val has because he's an Earth warrior. There's a lot of things that if you like Avatar: Last Airbender, read this series, okay? Because there's there's Earth Warriors, Air Warriors for every element, and then there's the Night Warriors, which is not as rare as the Avatar because the Avatar there's only one, but with there's are some Night Warriors, but they are very hard to find and very rare. And Lauren is a Night Warrior, so she's basically this version of an Avatar. And yeah, so if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, I highly recommend this. You'll love it. But anyways, so Val has to try to keep the rocks at bay and and they were both pushing the rock in the air like with their magic, and it was a very exciting and intense scene, and I absolutely loved it. Um, and yeah, like I said, they still I like it whenever it does show that they have a lot of struggles where there's like a fight at the end of every book and the heroes barely win each time, or something happens that they do kind of lose. Like here, they lost Vadin, and they couldn't save Flora, and they couldn't save their palace. So yeah, a lot of them did manage to get out. Some severely wounded. I know Anne was pretty wounded, um, but so they did technically lose, even though a lot of them did make it out of the other end. Not everyone did, and they didn't get what their goal was set on. So because of that, and then I'm fifth book is supposed to be the last one from what I know, so I'm pretty sure they will um, win at the end of the day. But I really like it when books leading up to the final book will have them kind of lose a lot at the end of every book. I know I tend to do that in my own series. I'll be like, there'll be like a final fight at the end of each book, but then they kind of lose at the end of each one until leading up until the last one when they finally win. They finally had enough training. They finally can beat whatever foe they're against. So I really like that this one's doing it because each book, there is kind of a fight near the end, and they almost lose. like they barely make it out each time, but each time the fight gets worse and the stakes are much higher. Like this one, they were much higher than the previous ones, and they and like I said, they technically do lose. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone died if I remember correctly, so that's a plus, a huge plus. Um, but two people are captured. At least one is severely injured from what I remember, and then everyone else is just, defeated, kind of. So it was really good. But yeah, I definitely highly recommend this, especially if you love Avatar: Last Airbender. Great show, great series. That definitely gives me vibes every so often. I know, I remember when I was doing the review for, I think it was the first book. Yeah, because the character died in the first book. She gave me serious Toph vibes. Jaheira, I think I said her name right. She gave me serious Toph vibes because, and it was just like, first of all, she was an Earth Warrior, so there's that. She's also very powerful, and there was one line in particular that was like, "Oh my gosh, this is this versions of Toph," and it was when I think it was Val told Lauren that, or it might have been Val, one of the two told Lauren that a lot of people think that she can sense the other warriors' movements through the earth, and that's how she can always beat them. And it's like, isn't that exactly what Toph does? Except Toph's blind, so she has no choice but to do that. But still, like, she is Toph. She's also, her personality gets a lot of Toph's vibes. She's very hard, very tough, very, well, she's very tough. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, she is tough. So yeah, and she's the only character I remember saying, "Oh yeah, this is definitely a character from Avatar." But yeah, there's a bunch of things that gives Avatar vibes, not just the fact that she gives me serious Top vibes, but like I said, that the Earth Warriors and then the Night Warriors kind of being more rare and hard to find, like the Avatar, and yeah, so definitely if you like Avatar Last Airbender, check this out because it's an amazing series. I highly recommend, and it's just so good, and I definitely think you all should check it out because I'm loving this series. I rated each book 5 stars and did a review on Goodreads and Amazon, and I definitely think you guys will like them. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you love Avatar: Last Airbender. If you do, please check out this. And if you plan to watch or read this, and I will talk to you guys next time.